When one thinks of the word business, a massive enterprise packed with men in suits may come in mind. Rarely would one picture a small-scale, women-led, local endeavor. Today, however, we talk about this exact topic and have a discussion with Ms. Salwa Akhtar. Salma is an experienced project manager with a history of working with international donors on peace building, entrepreneurship, economic growth, tax reforms, and government projects. Just to start off the topic, can you talk a little bit about what exactly Ground Zero enterprises are and how exactly women entrepreneurs fit into this picture?
Sure. Okay, so when we talk about Pakistan's Ground Zero entrepreneurs, we mean bottom of the pyramid. As many people would understand, bottom of the pyramid is where it's basically the first layer जिस पे आपकी पूरी economy stand करती है, right? And those essentially are your micro enterprises. By definition, micro enterprises means, World Bank has a different definition, MEDA in Pakistan has a different definition, so I'm not going to go into that. But micro businesses are small businesses. A lot of people would agree that in Pakistan and most of the developing countries, a major chunk of your economy relies on these micro businesses. And mostly they're in the informal sector. So I think I've answered the first part of your question. The second part about the role of women, I've done a lot of programs in Pakistan, in Balochistan, in Lahore, in Punjab, in Federal, in KP, and we've worked with a lot of micro entrepreneurs from all these areas. One thing that you will see, there is a stark difference between your micro entrepreneurs and your high growth businesses. High growth businesses generally are obviously businesses that intend to scale, that have a larger workforce, that have a larger revenue margin. One thing in Pakistan which it's very surprising, and it's actually at the same time it really encourages you have a lot of women in these micro businesses, because you see a lot of these women are coming from families that they need to support themselves and their children, and they're not blessed with that financial infrastructure where they have that luxury of not having to work. I mean, in the you will maybe women in somewhere not at the bottom of the pyramid might have that luxury where they can even if they don't work, maybe they can make ends meet. But you have a lot of these women at the bottom of the pyramid. In fact, 64% of our applicants for these programs have always been women. Whereas if you talk about high growth entrepreneurs and the enrollment you see of startups in incubation centers across the country, for example, that these 5 NICs in Pakistan, आपको इतने women applicants नहीं मिलेंगे जितने आपको ये bottom of the pyramid communities में मिलेंगे.
So why is it that the focus here would be in sort of the work that we do on women entrepreneurs, right? We bring into other minorities into perspective, for instance, someone who's an ethnic minority, a differently abled group in being involved in this as well?
Of course. Okay, so I'll be very honest. The international community is very focused on making sure that all programs are inclusive. Okay, by inclusive we mean that they cater not only to women but also to people from religious minorities, ethnic minorities, differently abled people, and all are part of the training program. But what we need to really see is, do we have the infrastructure of having, for example, a person on a wheelchair attend our trainings? It's about where we carry on those trainings. We have that mindset, we scout with that mindset, but uski implementation mein Pakistan mein abhi bhi bahut challenges hain. They go beyond my control, right? They're about the physical infrastructure of a training space, for example. If you talk about LUMS, okay, now LUMS is a great school. A lot of people in Pakistan have a dream to study in LUMS. And LUMS is also catering to people with physical disabilities. They have these ramps, but they don't have washrooms that differently abled people can use, someone with a physical disability. So we can have them come in for a full day training, but if we're not providing those services, then we're really putting them in a tough spot. So I think for that that goes a little beyond our control. We try to scout for religious minorities for sure, but जहाँ पे आप differently abled की बात कर रहे हो, there's a long way that we need to go in terms of making our spaces more inclusive for differently abled people.